Good morning. These readings are for Wednesday, September 8th, 2021. It is rally day at the church. Here we go. Our three readings. Our psalm reading is actually the Isaiah passage, Isaiah 38, 10 through 20. Judges 15, 9 through 20 is our Old Testament reading, and Matthew 17, 14 through 21 is our New Testament reading. With it being Wednesday, remember that we are still reflecting on what happened on Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday is reflecting on Sunday. Here we go. Let's listen in to the scripture. Isaiah 38, verses 10 through 20. This is what Hezekiah, king of Judah, wrote after he'd been sick and then recovered from his sickness. In the very prime of life, I have to leave. Whatever time I have left is spent in death's waiting room. No more glimpses of God in the land of the living. No more meetings with my neighbors. No more rubbing shoulders with my friends. This body I inhabit is taken down and packed away like a camper's tent. Like a weaver, I've rolled up the carpet of my life as God cut me free from the loom. And at the day's end, sweeps up the scraps and the pieces. I cry for help until the morning. Like a lion, God pummels me and pounds me, relentlessly finishing me off. I squawk like a doomed hen, moan like a dove. My eyes ache from looking up for help. Master, I'm in trouble. Get me out of this. But what's the use? God himself gave me the word. He's done with me. I can't sleep. I'm that upset, that troubled. Oh, Master, these are the conditions in which people live. And yes, in this very condition, my spirit is still alive, fully recovered with a fresh infusion of life. It seems it was good for me to go through all of these troubles. Throughout them all, you held tight to my lifeline. You never let me tumble over the edge into nothing. But my sins, you let go of it. Threw them over your shoulder. Good riddance. The dead don't thank you, and choirs don't sing praises from the morgue. Those buried 6 feet under don't witness to your faithful ways. It's the living, live men, live women who thank you, just as I am doing right now. Parents give their children full reports on your faithful ways. God saves and will save you. As fiddles and mandolins strike up the tunes, we'll sing, sing for the rest of our lives in the sanctuary of God. Our Old Testament reading comes from the book of Judges, chapter 15, verses 9 through 20. The Philistines set out and made camp in Judah, preparing to attack Levi. When the men of Judah asked, "Why have you come up against us?" they said, "We're out to get Samson. We're going after Samson to do to him what he did to us." 3 companies of men from Judah went down to the cave at the Etham rock and said to Samson, "Don't you realize that the Philistines already bully and lord it over us? So what's going on with you, making things even worse?" He said, "I was tit for tat. I only did it to them what they did to me." They said, "Well, we've come down here to tie you up and turn you over to the Philistines." Samson said, "Just promise not to hurt me." "We promise," they said. "We will tie you up and surrender you to them. But believe us, we won't kill you." They proceeded to tie him with new ropes and led him up from the rock. As he approached Lehi, the Philistines came to meet him, shouting in triumph, and then the Spirit of God came upon him with great power. The ropes on his arms fell apart like the flax on fire. The strips of leather slipped off of his hands. He spotted a fresh donkey jawbone, reached down and grabbed it, and with it killed the whole company. And Samson said, "With a donkey's jawbone, I made heaps of donkeys of them. With a donkey's jawbone, I killed an entire company." When he finished speaking, he threw away the jawbone. He named the place Ramoth Lehi, Jawbone Hill. Now, he was suddenly very thirsty. He called out to God, "You have given your servant this great victory. Are you going to abandon me to die of thirst and fall into the hands of the uncircumcised?" So God split open the rock basin in Lehi. Water gushed out, and Samson drank. His spirit revived. He was alive again. That's why it's called En Hakon, Caller's Spring. It's still there at Lehi today. Samson judged Israel for 20 years in the days of the Philistines. Our New Testament reading today comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 17, verses 14 through 20. At the bottom of the mountain, they were met by a crowd of waiting people. As they approached, a man came out of the crowd and fell to his knees begging, "Master, have mercy on us. He goes out of his mind and suffers terribly, falling into seizures. Frequently he is pitched into the fire, other times into the river. I brought him to your disciples, but they could do nothing for him." Jesus said, "What a generation. No sense of God. No focus to your lives. How many times do I have to go over all of these things? How much longer do I have to put up with this? Bring the boy here." He ordered the afflicting demon out. It was out. Gone from that moment on. The boy was well. When the disciples had Jesus off to themselves, they asked, "Why couldn't we throw it out?" "Because you're not yet taking God seriously," said Jesus. "The simple truth is that if you had a mere kernel of faith, a poppy seed, you would tell this mountain, 'Move,' and it would move. There is nothing that you would be able to not tackle." And here ends our readings for the day. God's peace.